Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Sports Recap Podcast. I am your host, Open Mind, along with your other host, DZ.
What's going on, everybody?
We back y'all with week 4 of the NFL. It's week 4. It was a crazy, crazy week last week. Man, listen, did you see what the Miami Dolphins did to the Broncos?
Yeah, man. I couldn't
About
believe it,
that.
man. You should have seen all the videos they had afterwards. It was like, wow.
Let's talk about how I called that game before it happened. Last episode. See, if y'all go back and check out last week's episode, I said verbatim that the Miami Dolphins are gonna destroy the Denver Broncos. I said that. What did the Miami Dolphins do to the Broncos?
Made them look real
What
bad. Like, terrible. They're
they
just
just
like, wow.
man, listen, bro. Like I am now, mind you, I didn't call that much of the game. I'm not gonna sit back like I said. I knew that was gonna happen with the score being 70-20. No, I didn't know it was gonna happen that way. But I knew that the Dolphins was gonna beat up on the Broncos because the Broncos defense is trash. Right? I just knew that it was gonna be. In my mind's eye, I was thinking, 40 something to 20 maybe. I figured the Broncos was going to put up a couple of touchdowns, which they did because it was 70-20. I gave the Broncos the 20 points that they got in my head. In my head, I was like, yeah, it's going to be like 40 something to 20 something. In my mind, I didn't say that in the show, but I was thinking it. But I had no idea it was going to be 70-20. Bro, when the last time that happened? Like, when last time a score in the NFL been that high? Because those are college numbers.
That's a good question. I have no clue. I mean, I don't ever remember, as long as I lived, and I've lived 40 damn years, I have never seen it 70 points.
I mean, that's a lot of points, man. But listen, y'all, we are about to get into the lineup, man. It's a lot. A lot has happened. We got a lot to get into. Because we want to keep it sports, but we will keep it sports, but I'm saying trying to keep it fantasy sports, I meant to say. But man, like you got Tua, you got Ashane, you got Mostert and Tyreek Hill, all four of them. Like Mostert had 150 rushing yards. Ashane had 200 rushing yards. Tyreek Hill had 200 passing yards. Yo, it was a crazy game. That was crazy.
Not only that, they also had their backups come out and make them look bad. It was like, who the hell are these guys? If I'm
Man,
let me see if I'm correct. Let me see here. Let me just look at this. Like their backup quarterback is Matt White.
their back quarterback is what? Say it again.
Matt White. He came out and threw a touchdown pass in two throws for 67 yards in two throws.
Man, anyway, we're about to get into the early state. It was just a crazy week, and there's more that happened than just that game. If y'all follow along with us, open up your DraftKings menu to the early slate, football slate, not the all-day slate, but it should say 9 games, early only 9 games. Right, that's the screen we want y'all to follow along with us. I'm gonna start us off with the quarterback, because I believe DZ finished us off last week. Going for the early quarterback, right? And me and DZ was having a discussion offline behind this. He had sent me. We were just talking about players like we always do. We always talk amongst ourselves before we go live. And he sent me a lineup that I kind of dismissed, but then I looked at it again, and I was like, you know what? Maybe DZ's onto something, because it's not so much as the price, it's the matchup. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Russell Wilson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we do this, I want to say this. If y'all look at Josh Allen situation in Miami, the situation with the Dolphins and the Broncos, when I said the Dolphins are going to destroy the Broncos, in this situation against the Bills, the Dolphins not going to put up 70 points. right? We're just letting y'all know that now. So if y'all expecting what happened last week in Denver, or was it in Miami? I don't know where it was. If y'all expecting what happened in the game of the Dolphins versus the Broncos, again in the Buffalo Bills versus the Dolphins, that's not going to happen, right? It's not. First of all, Damar Hamlin, the guy that collapsed on the field last year, and they stopped the game, shut the game down for him because he was like almost died on the field. He's back, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's their safety, and he's back. He's not a cornerback; he's a safety, and safety is more dangerous than the cornerback because first of all, the cornerback is already running with the receiver, right? So that's a man-to-man situation. And if it's zone, it's still kind of man-to-man because even if a cornerback is playing zone, they kind of run towards the area because that's what zone is. Where the area that the receiver is going to run to, that cornerback runs to that area. Then the safety is a different position. The safety is a cornerback as well, but he doesn't have to run with the receivers. The safety kind of they man that field back there, right? Mm-hmm. So with Damar Hamlin coming back, not saying that Tyreek Hill is not going to have a good game or not going to do well or whatever in Buffalo. He's not going to put up the numbers he put up against the Broncos against the Buffalo Bills, right? Now, on the flip side, Miami's defense is not that good. It's just that the Broncos offense wasn't as good as the Dolphins defense. Like they just couldn't, they couldn't get nothing going.
Yep.
But at the same time, I still see the Dolphins game and that Buffalo game being a shootout. However, Josh Allen costs too much, and so does Tua. $7,000 for Tua, $8,000 for Josh Allen, in a game that I think is going to be not going to actually break out until the second half. I don't think that Dolphins-Bills game is going to really open up until the second half. And when I say open up, I'm just saying both teams finally getting some stuff going for each other. It's going to be a struggle because the Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills defense saw what the Dolphins did to the Broncos. They got the game film on that. They're going to make it their business to shut down everything they tried to do. Now, they're not going to shut everything down because the Dolphins got crazy offensive guys out there. But I said all that to say that I'm not necessarily jumping on that bandwagon just because the Dolphins had a monster game against a weak team. The Buffalo Bills are not a weak team. They're not. They struggled in the beginning against the Jets. I think that Jets game, Bills game just had a curse on it. I think both teams played terribly. The Jets won by 1 point. It's not like they blew out the Bills. Both teams played horribly because of what happened with Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers' injury affected Bills players just as much as it did Jets players because both teams just played terrible. And I think they were just dealing with the emotion of Aaron Rodgers being out for the season, and that kind of really got to everybody. That kind of scared a lot of players. This guy just went down on his fourth play. He's gone for the season. I think everybody that was playing football that day kind of was just on edge. So nobody's were in their right headspace. I don't hold the week 1 football Jets versus Bills to any regard to either team. With that said, I don't think the Dolphins-Bills game is going to be a game that we should all gamble on. I think we should fade that game and focus on some of these other matchups that are going to probably give us some production with the money that we're betting. Because no matter who wins that game, I don't know who's going to win, the Dolphins or the Bills. I just think it's a fantasy trap. All of that ranting to say that the Bills versus the Dolphins game is going to be a fantasy trap on your lineup, and I'm telling everybody, if you can help yourself, fade Tua and fade Josh Allen for the simple fact that the Dolphins put 70 points up and the Bills want to make a statement. So one of these players are going to have a good game on the Dolphins, and one of these players on the Bills are going to have a good game, but which one? And it's only going to be one or two. It's not going to be a lot. So I think you should put your focus on those other games that are taking place Sunday and just let the Bills and the Dolphins play their football. Saying all that to say that, we're going with Russell Wilson, and I'm going to pair him up with Jerry Jeudy. going against the Bears. Because last week, Cortland Sutton had a good game. He had a good game against the Dolphins. Russell Wilson relied heavily on Cortland Sutton. But I think because of the way football works, yet again, I don't want to ride the Sutton train because he had a good game last week and think, well, I'm going to pass it to Sutton again because he had a good game last week. Yeah, but Jerry Jeudy, it's his turn. And not that Sutton may not have a good game against Chicago, but I think the emphasis is going to be on Jerry Jeudy because this is a game where Jerry Jeudy can get his stats, can get his opportunity to get the good game that he's needed. It's week 4. If you click on Jerry Jeudy right now on your screens, in the game log, it shows Jerry Jeudy having a total of 8 receptions on 106 yards for the whole season, right? Jerry Jeudy desperately needs to put some stats on the board. And there's nothing stopping him in the Chicago game from putting those stats on the board. So while I initially dismissed my brother's lineup, I took another look at the situation. And I'm thinking to myself, Russell Wilson's a good quarterback in this situation. We can trash the Broncos all we want, right? We can do that. We can make fun of the Broncos and talk our thing. But if you click on Russell Wilson right now, open up his game log and look at Russell Wilson's stats. Despite horrible play from his team, he individually is still putting up very, very serviceable fantasy numbers at a decent price. Russell Wilson costs $5,800, and he's good for 20 points against a rough team, against a rough matchup, a situation where it's rough. So this is a winnable game for the Broncos. I'm seeing Russell Wilson pairing them up with Jerry Jeudy to start to show this long drawn out thing I just did because I had to really check myself. You know, I've been busy today, so I took a look at it. I was like, yo, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. So you finally see that I finally had something going on there, huh?
Yo, bro, you onto something because of the matchup. The Bears are trash. Let's eat the Bears alive. It's on you. It's your turn to pass the mic.
well, you said don't bank on that Buffalo game. I do have one player I'm actually interested in. Running back. Let's see, what's his name? Mr. Cook. James Cook. For the running back.
I like that pick. So we got James Cook at running back. I like that pick. There's nothing wrong with it. We're going to scroll down some more. I got another cheap pick that I cannot believe he cost this much. But I'm not going to complain about the price. I ain't complaining. I'm just in shock and awe that DeAndre Swift is only $5,700 against the Washington Commanders.
Really?
We're going to roll with DeAndre Swift. Before we move on, though, let's click on DeAndre Swift's game log and bring it up on the screen if you don't mind, just briefly. Scroll gently to the left. This man is averaging 100 yards rushing.
Yes.
Do you see the average?
Yep.
Damn, is averaging 100 yards. Yo, and he got a great matchup. First of all, the Eagles are a rushing team. Remember?
Yes.
Everybody's complaining about the Philly push. Okay, the Philly push in and of itself is a questionable play, but let's look at the Philly push. What is it? It's a run play. It's their favorite run play. And to have a favorite run play, you have to be a run team to even favorite a run play. They don't have a favorite pass play in Philly. They got a favorite run play because Philly's not a passing first team. They're a run first team. If they don't run the ball, Jalen Hurts going to run the ball. They going to run the ball before they pass the ball. And now that Jalen Hurts has a running back, good running back in DeAndre Swift, fam, he can pass the ball to DeAndre Swift and save his legs and throw the ball when need to.
That's true.
Philadelphia Eagles are a run-first offense. Yes, they're going to pass. Yes, Jalen Hurts can throw bombs. But if you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers, his passing numbers, he's not putting up a lot of passing yards every game because they're running the ball more than they're passing the ball. Mm-hmm. And for DeAndre Swift to be $5,700, give me DeAndre Swift and that juicy, lovely matchup against the Commanders. Go ahead, the mic.
And you want to know what? I'm going to go to Old Faithful. He has not been completely priced out yet. I'm still going with Adam Thielen at wide receiver.
because that's a good revenge game, right?
Yeah.
Adam Thielen versus his old team, this is his first time playing against his old team, right? So I think Adam Thielen gonna have a great game because he's playing against his old team. Simply because of that reason, revenge. They just traded Adam Thielen away. Adam Thielen didn't ask to be traded. He didn't request to leave the team. He actually wanted to retire a Minnesota Viking, and they traded him so that Justin Jefferson can eat.
Yeah.
Because when Diggs left and went to Buffalo, Thielen was the next man up, and Thielen felt like he was going to lead the team, and he was doing well. And Justin Jefferson gets drafted. Now he's doing well, and now he's got to share the field with Justin Jefferson. Like, I just shared the field with Diggs, with Stephon Diggs. I got to share it with Justin Jefferson too. Well, fine, let's share the field. But they traded him away. So I'm thinking Thielen is thinking that, and he's gonna have a good game. He's been having a good game. Click on Adam Thielen's game log. Adam Thielen has been balling. He's got 14 targets in the last game. Adam Thielen is a great pick, man. Mike's on me. I don't want to do this because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money spent on this player, and to do this means that I believe that this player is going to actually give me the performance that I need out of them.
Oh boy, who is this?
Yeah, to do this, to spend this money means that I think this player is going to do better than every receiver under this player. I could pick other receivers, better matchups, better situations, cheaper receivers. I could do that. But these receivers are not going to give me what I need. You know what? Let me take that back. Yes, they will. They will give me what I need. They're going to give me the Justin Jefferson numbers. That's the player I was looking at while I was so suspenseful. Justin Jefferson was the guy that I was going to pick and spend all that money on because I trusted he'll give me those 30-plus points. In this matchup, he could do it. He would do it. However, I believe I can still get some good production out of Courtland Sutton in Chicago. And why not? Why not give Russell Wilson two people to throw the ball to? Why not eat those Chicago Bears alive? Because Russell Wilson needs a redemption game. He needs one. And what better game to do it than in the Bears?
So you're going Courtland Sutton?
Courtland Sutton is the last receiver, and it's your turn to pick a tight end. I done had tight end for 3 weeks. Every time it's tight end time, I'm picking the tight end. It's your turn to deal with the dreadful tight end slide.
Dreadful tight ends. Well, this week I'm kind of prepared. I had a couple of them I was looking at. I'm looking at Pittsburgh Steelers, Pat Fairmont. I'm actually prepared this week for tight ends.
You prepared for tight? Okay, well, let's see what you got. Let's see what you rolling with. Who is our tight end for the day?
From Pittsburgh Steelers, Pat Fairmont.
All right.
3,400.
I'm gonna go ahead and get the defense out the way, since it's just there and it's yelling and screaming at me to call it. I think the Eagles are gonna shut Washington down. The Eagles have been solid on defense for 3 weeks. They've been just solid, and there's nobody else under there. There's really not, like, I think everybody is going to score on everybody below the Eagles situation.
Mm-hmm.
Every game, in the early slate, both offenses are going to score on both defenses outside of the Washington Commanders game. The Commanders are probably going to get some field goals. I don't see the Commanders scoring any touchdowns. If they score a touchdown, it'll be late, and it'll be a garbage time touchdown that won't matter. I think the points that the Washington Commanders are going to put up versus the Eagles are going to be field goal only points. I could be wrong. Yes, this is not a B-plus analysis. This is just my gut telling me that the Commanders are not going to be very effective on offense against Philadelphia's defense. So we're running with the Eagles D, and you got $8,300 for a flex. I hope that money will.
I'm looking at you saying that the Eagles defense is not going to. I mean, I have them destroying Washington.
Yeah, them destroying Washington. I mean, hey, I ain't the only person that can call the game now.
I
Hey,
I
if,
I
if,
hate
if that's what you're feeling, I'm really gonna pick them the Eagles now.
I have the Commanders not even. I don't. I mean, I looked at that game. I don't see them doing much against those Eagles.
That's why, and I'm being nice when I say field goals. I'm being nice because I'm trying to just.
I
It's football, so I figure, well, it's football. Everybody makes a mistake. Every dog has their day.
yeah.
But I don't think betting on any Washington Commanders players on your fantasy sports lineup is a smart thing to do against the Eagles. I think you
I
should
think
fade
I
everybody.
think all right. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think the Eagles gonna have a pick six by the end of the first half.
Wow. Well, I want to see that. I want to see that happen. I want to see this. Well, it's on you, bro. You got 8,300, man, and you can pick whoever you want to pick in the flex.
Man, let's
You're
see.
missing Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson. That's the only team you missing.
Yeah, let's see. 8,300 though. You know what? I'm gonna go with Diggs. I would say Jamar Chase, but I think Diggs is the better option here.
I got you. Against Miami Dolphins' weak defense because nobody's stopping Diggs. Okay, so the early slate consists of Russell Wilson, DeAndre Swift. Is his name Jameel Cook or James Cook?
Yep.
Jerry Jeudy, Adam Thielen, Cortland Sutton, Pat Fryermuth, Stephon Diggs in the flex, and the Eagles on D. We gonna enter that squad because last week I did not enter the show squads. I thought I did, but I didn't enter them. And whatever happened, I didn't even get to use that as reference points because I just didn't enter the squad like a bonehead. So we're gonna move on to the afternoon tiers. It should be 3 games, afternoon only
Yep.
tiers. And I'm passing the mic to Deezy.
Oh man, I get first pick. Let's see. Let's look at this real quick. Tier one. Herbert Purdy. Man. Jeez. I don't think Brock Purdy's gonna be throwing a lot. I think Mr. Justin Herbert is gonna be throwing quite a bit against. I'm going with Herbert. I'm not gonna overthink that. I'm going with Herbert.
All right, Herbert. In tier 2, you go with Herbert. You're forcing me to do this, even though I don't want to do this. But you have Herbert, so and the Vegas Raiders defense is trash. So I'm just gonna have Herbert throw the ball to Keenan Allen.
Really? You're not picking Devontae in that second one?
I want Devontae,
Well,
but Herbert.
No,
So I
no. Pick the one that wins the tier. To tell you the truth, I know Allen is good, but I think Devontae is going to win that tier.
I totally agree with him. I want Devontae Adams, but you picked Herbert, so I have to pair him with somebody.
You don't have to.
Well, is there anybody else Herbert gonna throw the ball to? He's got to still, even though it's tiers, you got to pair him with one player.
Not really. I mean, you got to look who's going to win the tier. Who will
Yeah.
win? Who's going to win this tier?
Yeah, Devontae Adams is gonna do better than Keenan Allen. Yeah.
And you got
Devontae
Christian
Adams-
McCaffrey in Arizona, but yeah,
And the Chargers are trash on defense. They're not stopping passes.
yeah. And you got So we got Herbert and Devontae Adams. Let's see. We got the third one. Oh man, I hate this one.
Yeah, this one crazy right here. There is a safe pick here, but
I think Pollard's a safer pick.
yeah, he's a safe pick.
Yeah.
He's not going to give you no good numbers because they're playing against Bill Belichick, but he's still a safe pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pollard. I don't think Josh Jacobs is gonna do too much. I don't know what's going on there.
All right, so since he's back, I'm not going to waste no time getting Brandon Ayuk since he's back. I really wanted Christian McCaffrey as well, but you can't pick but one player, so I need a San Francisco 49er because the 49ers finna trample over those Cardinals. The Cardinals think they somebody because they beat the Cowboys. They think they somebody. They not.
No, you're not.
You're not nobody, bro. But if you the Cowboys lost because they don't have Trayvon Diggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're out of sync. But they won the following week. Who did the Cowboys play last Sunday? Who did they play? They played the Cardinals in week 2. I can't remember who the
I
Cowboys
forgot who they played, but wasn't it 40-7 or 40-zip?
They won.
Yeah, they won big though.
Yeah, the Cowboys are 2-1 right now. So they're 3-1. Yeah, 3-1. No, they're 2-1 because this is week 4. Yeah, they're 2-1. So I don't know. I just know that the 49ers are on a roll, and Cardinals are not strong enough to stop them. So I'm rolling with Ayuk.
Gotcha. Tier 4. This is easy for me. I'm going with Mr. Palmer. Joshua Palmer. With Mike Williams out, Keenan Allen should not. If Keenan Allen don't get the ball, it's going to Josh Palmer.
All right, and tier 6 is a very easy one for me, because he's just been productive. Well, I wouldn't say he's been super productive, but I think he's going to have a good game in Dallas. And I'm talking about Kendrick Bourne because there is no Trayvon Diggs to stop the pass. And who they have out there stopping the pass is not consistent enough on Dallas Cowboys. So I think, and I don't think the Patriots wide receivers are going to have a monster day, but this is tier 6. Nobody in tier 6 is going to really do anything meaningful for your lineup. Everybody in this tier that I'm looking at on the screen is going to give you the numbers that they're seeing. The average that you see next to their name is probably what they're going to give you. 5.5 for Juju Smith, 7.1 for Rico Dowdle, Elijah Mitchell, 4.2. Jennings ain't even playing. Renfro giving you 2.3. Like, those are realistic numbers from these players on this slot. And Kendrick Bourne is in a good position to have a good day in Dallas because of the passing game. I don't know who's going to win this Cowboys-Patriots game, but Ezekiel Elliott is going to be playing, and I think the rush attack from Zeke is going to open up spaces for Kendrick Bourne. I just think Kendrick Bourne's going to have a quietly good day. He's going to be quiet, but not so quiet as to where he's ice cold. I think he's going to flame out, but it's not going to be like a high flame. I think he'll give you he's averaging 13.3 on the screen. So I'm thinking Kendrick Bourne realistically going to give us like 15 or 16. He'll get a touchdown pass, and he'll get maybe a total of 5 receptions the whole game. 4 quarters of football. I'm expecting 5 total catches from Kendrick Bourne. 4 quarters of football, mind you. So no, they're not going to feed him the ball all day, but he'll get 5 catches. Not going to be long. It'll be short slot receiver catches. Short because Bill Belichick throws short passes, not deep bomb passes. So Kendrick Bourne's 5 catches for maybe 5 yards of reception, maybe 6 or 7. Not too many yards after the catch the ball and get tackled immediately. I think he'll catch a touchdown pass in the touchdown at the red zone. And I think that's all he's going to give us. That's all I need him to do because that's more than what everybody below him is going to do. So we're going to close the tier out with Kendrick Bourne. We got Justin Herbert, Devontae Adams, Tony Pollard, Brandon Ayuk, Joshua Palmer, Kendrick Bourne in the tier 6 slot. I'm going to go ahead and enter this. That is our tier squad. And we are entering the closing of the show. So we're about to close it out and give y'all an evening lineup, prime time, all day tournament. Should be 2 games, prime time games.
Gotcha.
DZ picked our quarterback for the tiers. I'm gonna pick our quarterback for the night game, and it's the guy I don't like.
Oh, Geno?
I don't like Geno Smith.
No, who does?
But Geno Smith is in a good spot.
That's true.
Geno Smith beat my Lions. First of all, he beat my Lions. That ain't why I don't like him, but he still beat my Lions. I didn't like him before he played the Lions. Had he never played the Lions, I wouldn't like him. And there's nothing personal against this man personally. I don't like him as a quarterback. Geno Smith gets on my nerves. But I got to take my emotions out of this and think about football. Patrick Mahomes is going to beat the Jets. But Patrick Mahomes is not going to pay off his $8,000 price against the Jets. Yes, he's Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he's going to beat the Jets. Yes, the Chiefs are going to beat the Jets. Yes to that question. Who's going to win out of the Chiefs and the Jets? The Chiefs. But are they going to win? Are they going to beat the Jets in such a way it's going to prevent? It's going to give you fantasy points. You, the listener, if you're running with the Chiefs beating the Jets because you just know that they're going to beat the Jets, we all know that. But are they going to beat the Jets the way the Dolphins beat the Broncos? No, they're not. They're not going to beat the Jets the way the Dolphins beat the Broncos. You're not going to get Dolphins numbers out of the Chiefs in the Jets game. You're just going to get the Chiefs winning. That's what you're going to get. The Chiefs are just going to win. They're just going to win this game. They're not going to lose. The Chiefs are going to win. But how does that look on your lineup? Them winning and you picking Patrick Mahomes for $8,000 and possibly pairing him up with Travis Kelce for $7,000 against the Jets is probably not going to pay you out any money. But Geno Smith is in a great spot to beat the crap out of the Giants. Because if he can beat my Lions, who are a good team, the Lions just destroy. Who did the Lions play? The Thursday night football.
Green Bay.
In fact, I watched that game. The Lions are a good team. They're not trash. Not the trash Lions that we know them to be. The Lions are contenders. The Lions are playoff bound. Are they Super Bowl bound? I don't know. But they're definitely NFC Championship bound. I'm thinking that somebody is going to be playing the Lions in the NFC Championship. After watching the Lions play Thursday night football, I'm convinced that the Lions are going to be deep in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but I think the Lions are going to make a statement this year and not just make it to the playoffs. They're going to advance into the playoffs. I just don't know if they're going to advance to the Super Bowl. Yeah. That I don't know because that requires health. It's not the best team that goes to the Super Bowl. It's the healthiest team. The best teams never win Super Bowls. The healthiest teams win Super Bowls.
That's true.
So there's two teams playing in a Super Bowl. That means everybody on that team stayed healthy all year. They have everybody that they needed to play all year. Everybody stayed healthy. If they're not super healthy, they're playing anyway. Even if they're playing hurt, they're on the field. Nobody's out for the season. Nobody's out on injury on a Super Bowl team. Every team after that got somebody out for 5 weeks. Somebody got a torn ACL. Somebody got an ankle sprain. Somebody important is out. And that team doesn't make the playoffs or doesn't make the Super Bowl. So, will the Chiefs beat the Jets? Yes. But will Patrick Mahomes put up enough fantasy numbers for you on your lineup? I don't know. But I don't think so. Because the Jets defense are mad as hell, and they're probably going to play some dirty football, penalties and all. I don't think the Jets even care anymore. I don't think the Jets, their season has been sabotaged by Aaron Rodgers being out for the season. So I think they're just giving up, and they're playing backyard football just like the Chiefs play backyard football. So we get penalized, we don't care. We'll hurt you. The Jets are liable to injure somebody on the Chiefs. So I want to stay away from that game. And I'm going to run with Geno Smith. I'm going to pair Geno Smith up with DK Metcalf against the weak Giants.
Gotcha. And I'm going to get the obvious pick out the way. Tight end, Travis Kelce. There's just no point. I don't think there's too much you can do there.
All right, I'm going to run with Kenneth Walker as running back against the Giants because why not?
Gotcha. Let me see here.
There's no other running back that makes sense other than the one running back that you're looking at on your screen.
Talking about the Chiefs running back?
There's no other reason not to pick him.
There it really isn't. Yeah, I'm going to go with him.
All right. So, it's Pacheco, right?
Yeah.
So, other wide receiver, I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, I see you doubling up on that.
I'm stacking him. I'm stacking the Giants, bro. I'm stacking this game.
You mean you stacking Seattle?
Giants.
You know what? I think I might go G Wilson. Just to be different.
Well, we might have to get rid of Travis Kelce because we have $4,000 and we got to pick 2 slots.
Yeah, let's get rid of Travis Kelce. Who would we pick though?
Doesn't matter
I would go with Waller.
because even Travis Kelce isn't going to have a monster day.
Yeah.
He's going to give you tight end production because he's a tight end. I will go with the Chiefs defense, however. That I will do. The Chiefs defense are good for 1 interception at least.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to run with the Chiefs defense.
Yeah, we have to move some stuff around. So we got G Wilson, Lockett, Metcalf, Walker, Pancino, Geno Smith. Who would we look at tight end? I would say Waller, but he hasn't really been. Go ahead.
I would say Conklin's a good tight end to give you the numbers that he's showing you because all Waller's going to give you is 5 points, 6 points. Waller's not going to get the ball thrown to him, and if he does, it'll be an incomplete pass because they're going to check that. They know that Waller is all y'all got because y'all don't have Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do? What is the Seahawks going to do on defense? They're going to double Waller.
That's true.
They're gonna take Waller out the game, and all Waller gonna be designated for is for blocking. Blocking, like they're gonna get to it because Daniel Jones sucks. They're gonna get to a point in this game, and this is part of the B+ analysis before we close out. My B+ analysis on the Seattle Seahawks Giants game. The Seahawks are gonna run away with this game. I still see the Giants scoring 1 touchdown. Just one funky touchdown. Getting in field goal range, but not making the field goal. Think about what I'm saying here. Giants are going to get in field goal range, but they're going to miss those field goals. And I think the only points the Giants are going to put up is 1 touchdown. Because Saquon Barkley is going, which kills the run game, and a team that doesn't have a run game doesn't have a pass game. And a team that's constantly passing the ball is going to get intercepted, which is going to force them to make Darren Waller block instead of go out and catch passes, go out and run routes. No, they're going to put Darren Waller on the line to block for Daniel Jones because they got to pass the ball. And if he's blocking, he can't catch the ball if he's blocking. If his assignment is to block and not run a route. If he has a blocking assignment on said play, Darren Waller's going to block. He's not going to move out of the run around that defender, turn around and put his hands up for a catch because his assignment is to block. And his assignment is going to be to block because the Giants are going to be so far behind in score that they're going to be forced to make Darren Waller block. He's a big guy and he can block. He's a big tight end. So Darren Waller's like 6'6". Dude is 6'6", about 240 pounds. He's a big guy. He can block. But he can also catch, but they can't utilize his catching skills because the Giants suck. Their offensive line is trash. The offensive line couldn't stop a parked car. The Giants' offensive line could not block a parked car. The car is parked. It's already stopped. And somehow that car still got by you and sacked the quarterback. The car is the parking gear is in place. It says park. The car is not moving, and somehow it still got past the offensive line of the Giants to sack the quarterback. They can't stop an object that's not moving. That's how sucking. That's how trash the offensive line is. And that which also affects the offensive player's production. So I see Darren Waller struggling not because he can't catch or he sucks, but because the coach is going to have to put him in a situation where he has to protect Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones is constantly getting sacked or throwing or constantly under duress when he throws the ball, he's going to throw interceptions. He's going to throw 2 interceptions before they start making Darren Waller block. They're going to try to use Darren Waller in the first quarter because, they want to get him going. They don't have Saquon Barkley. But when the Seahawks start putting those numbers up, when the Seahawks do start scoring points in this game that's about to be lopsided, the Giants are going to be forced to play football a specific way. Not that this is how they normally play football. They got to do this to survive the game. So they're going to put Darren Waller on blocking assignments. For taking him out of the game completely to catch passes for you on your lineup because they're behind, he's their only weapon. The coach is going to take him out the game in a sense where you're going to either keep constantly doubling him up or constantly sacking Daniel Jones where he can't even get the ball to Waller, which takes him out of the game. If he catches the ball, which he will catch a couple of passes, it's football, it's not going to be enough to pay off $5,000. He's only going to give you the 5 points that he's showing on your screen.
That's true.
So if all you're getting is 5 points out your tight end, Kelce get a touchdown maybe, but $7,000 for a tight end and we got to fill other spots. If you're only going to give me 5 points, well, give me 5 points then and give me Conklin.
That's true.
Because Conklin's not going to have a monster day in Kansas City. He's going to be blocking too, but they're going to throw Conklin the ball a couple of times. And that's all he's going to give me is the little 5 or 6 points. He's a tight end. You can't expect production out of a tight end.
True.
But long as they're doing something instead of nothing, everybody's going to have the same problem, not just you. Everybody's going to deal with that tight end situation. Their tight end not doing nothing on their lineup. Because I can't see Travis Kelce having a monster day in the Jets. They're going to do what they need to do to win. They're not going to go above and beyond that. So if they can't get Kelce to 200 yards, they're not going to try.
That's true.
He's going to block just like Waller's going to block. You know what I'm saying? So I can't see Travis Kelce paying off his $7,000 price. This doesn't take away from Travis Kelce's ability as a tight end or that he's still not the GOAT behind Gronk. You know, Gronk is retired, so we got Travis Kelce. That's our new Gronkowski. Fine, I'm all for it.
That's true.
But he's not going to do that in this game. He's just not. Click on Travis Kelce, everyone, before we move on. Click on Travis Kelce. He had a good game where? In Chicago. He's supposed to. In Chicago. But even in Chicago, he still was lackluster because he had 7 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown. That's all he did. You mean to tell me a tight end cost me $7,000 and all I got was 19 points out of him in a good matchup? This was a good matchup, y'all. Think about it. He played the sorry Chicago Bears, and all Travis Kelce gave us was 19 points for $7,000. I got 19 points out of a much cheaper tight end. I don't need 19 points out of my tight end. I need 19 points out of my wide receivers. So if my tight end don't give me the 19 points that Travis Kelce got in a game where he should have broke out like Tyreek Hill in them, because that matchup was the same. The Dolphins versus the Broncos was one of those matchups that was a Chiefs versus the Bears. And all the Chiefs did was the bare minimum to win. Not the bare minimum. Take that back. All Travis Kelce did was the bare minimum to win. They gave Travis Kelce some stats to shut him up. That's what they did. He cried to Andy Reid, I want the ball. I want the ball, Andy Reid. And they threw him the ball. Yeah. They gave him a touchdown so he could shut up. He got a touchdown, 7 receptions, and 70 yards. So him and Taylor Swift can go back home and suck each other, I guess. I don't know. But what I'm saying is it wasn't enough production in a game where you should have gave me some production where I finally pick you and you still only give me 19 points. So Travis Kelce is good in name only. He's not good all the time for fantasy sports because they jack his price up as if he's going to actually be that consistent every week. He's not going to be that consistent every week. But yet, there's no justification for paying that much more for a tight end. And I'm not shitting on Travis Kelce by far. Travis Kelce does not control the price that's set on his head. He doesn't control that. It's not his fault. But at the same time, we're gambling, and I'm not going to I'm not betting my money on a game that they're not going to overly use this guy because they don't need to. They just need to do what they got to do to win. And what they got to do to win ain't always passing him the ball. So I think Conklin, although it's just equally trash, if it's like a lesser of the two evils situation here. I'm picking the lesser of the two evils. Nobody on this tight end list is going to do anything in this particular slate, in this particular circumstance. There's no tight end on our screen right now that is worth picking. Nobody. There's no one that I recommend, honestly. But we got to put somebody right there. We'll just put Tyler Conklin right there.
Gotcha.
Because, and let's just go to that flex spot and hope for the best with the money that's left over.
Yeah, I'm going with Darius Slayton to finish everything out.
Let me see. Where's he at? All right, we got Slayton. I don't know. I think Rice is a lot better than Slayton, though.
Rice.
Oh, Rice. Click on him. He actually had just as much a good a game as Travis Kelce did against the Bears. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I have a game though, because here's the thing about Rashee Rice. Slayton is probably better because we're talking about the Chiefs and we're talking about a fucking 6 or 7 wide receivers on that team. There's no star receiver.
That is true.
There is no number one receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs. There is no one number one guy, number two guy. Everybody lines up in the slot, and everybody lines up on deep routes in Kansas City. Everybody. I've seen Pacheco on the outside one time. I've seen Pacheco line up on the edge outside and run a deep route. I've seen Clyde Edwards-Helaire line up in the slot. You understand me? And I've seen Travis Kelce line up in the backfield and run the ball. Like, the Chiefs play backyard football. They don't play orthodox football. So what we're dealing with here, and that's why I checked myself when I said Rashee Rice. I don't know, Slayton might be a better pick than Rashee Rice because at least Slayton is a receiver that is going to get targets. Yes. Whether he catches them or not is the question because he's playing against the Chiefs. But, no, he's playing against Seattle. Who's going to shut down the Giants. But I did say that Daniel Jones was going to score 1 touchdown. Who is he going to throw that touchdown pass to? It could be Slayton. Could be anybody.
True.
So it does make sense to pick one of those Giants wide receivers because that 1 touchdown pass that he is going to throw, you're going to need that on your lineup. You're going to need that.
Yes.
So I did say that. I did say that in the B-plus analysis that the Giants were going to score 1 touchdown. Daniel Jones is going to throw a touchdown pass to somebody. I don't know who. I haven't the slightest clue who's going to catch this pass. But there is going to be a touchdown pass thrown from the Giants. I'm going to give them a touchdown against Seattle because Seattle's defense isn't the Legion of Boom, right? They're not the Legion of Boom, but they're pretty good enough to stop the Giants. And they give the Giants a rough day to where the Giants can just get in field goal range and try to kick field goals, but their kicker sucks. That's why I say he's going to miss these field goals. Because the Giants kicker sucks. How is it that your offensive line sucks, quarterback sucks, and then your kicker sucks? Like I watched Daniel Jones get in field goal range for him to miss the damn field goal.
Ain't nothing going on with the Giants this year, man.
He done got sacked all the way down the field. Like, this is Daniel Jones. This is a typical Giants game where we can go. Typical Giants play. Daniel Jones hikes the ball, drops back, gets sacked, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's second down and 15 or whatever. He drops back, throws a pass, gets the first down. First down, drops back, gets sacked for another 15 yards. Drops back, throws another pass, gets downfield, gets sacked again. This is the Giants Daniel Jones pretty much gets sacked all the way to the field goal range, and then for the kicker to miss the damn field goal. Like, dude, I got sacked, I got slammed, I got beat up. I somehow got us in field goal range, and you missed the damn field goal. There were like 4 missed field goals in that Cowboys game when they played. When that's why the Giants couldn't score no points. Because all this I'm saying is me having a flashback of that Giants game where it was 40-0 when the Dallas Cowboys shut them out. The kicker kept missing the field goal. Listen, Danny Dimes was getting the Giants in field goal range in that Cowboys game. He was. Saquon Barkley was running the ball, and the Giants were getting downfield. They were moving the ball. They just couldn't make their field goal. They couldn't score a touchdown and save their life, but they was getting in field goal range. And that kicker kept missing the field goal.
Oh, that was just probably pissing him off.
He missed 4 field goals. 4! Daniel Jones got in field goal range 4 times against the Cowboys, and the kicker missed it all 4 times. So that's why I said that in my analysis, that the Giants are going to get in field goal range and miss their field goal. Maybe they'll make one. I don't have to be right. It's a B+ analysis, not an A+ analysis. So I can be wrong, okay, but they're still going to lose. I bet you this. I could be wrong about everything I said in my analysis. Bet you the Seahawks beat the Giants. I bet you that part of the analysis is right. They ain't finna lose. So anyway, that's the squad, yo. We got Geno Smith. We got Kenneth Walker. We got Pacheco, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Garrett Wilson, Tyler Conklin, Darius Slayton, and the Chiefs on defense to close us out. I'm about to enter that squad. You got any games you want or players you want to like highlight real quick that we didn't talk about, or anything you want to say before we go?
Well, not really. I mean, we have the Eagles defense, which I think is going to destroy them. But I think also a sneaky defense is probably the Texans.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. I think the Texans might surprise people here.
All right.
And a tight end you might want to look out for. I think he plays for Washington. Yes, I said it. He plays for Washington. Is Logan Thomas is available to play this coming weekend. I think you might want to take a look at him too if you're playing whatever slate he's in. I think he's in the 4 o'clock. Is he? No, he's in the 1 o'clock.
And now I definitely recommend some more players that we didn't get to pick or discuss tonight, and that's definitely Justin Jefferson. Pick Justin Jefferson, y'all. Make a lineup and put Justin Jefferson somewhere in your lineup. He's been consistent, and I love a consistent player. He's not in a position in the Carolina Panthers where he can't give you the same 30 points he's been giving you since week 1. Definitely look into Keenan Allen because we didn't pick him. We picked Devontae Adams today. But Keenan Allen has been just as productive as Devontae Adams with Eckler gone and Mike Williams gone. Keenan Allen is the go-to guy, and the Raiders' defense can't stop Keenan Allen. So I recommend y'all check out Keenan Allen. And I also just before we go, y'all, we have a TikTok page now. Please follow us on TikTok at the Recap Hyperpicks, all one word. Just like our show, the Recap with 2 P's, the Recap Hyperpicks. We're going to put out 3 players in each Hyperpick video. Always going to highlight 3 players. They're not necessarily going to have to be a combination of quarterbacks all the time. Sometimes it's just going to be 3 players because, those TikTok videos got to be short and sweet. So check out our Hyperpicks because we don't always get to talk about every player on every show. We're making these lineups and we're giving them to y'all for free if you want them. You ain't got to put them in. You can just grab your favorite players. But we don't get to every player. And just because we don't get to them don't mean we're fading them. We make multiple lineups. That is what you're supposed to do when you're playing fantasy sports. You're just not going to – you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So since we can't get to all these players, I'm like DZ recommended the tight ends and the defense that he said. for me, it's Keenan Allen. Ja'Marr Chase is in a great spot against Tennessee. Tennessee is not going to stop Ja'Marr Chase. He had a good game last week, and he's going to have a good game again. Another wide receiver situation is, I can't say this guy's name, but it's the Rams wide receiver. He's been quietly doing stuff. I didn't know this guy was doing this much work. His name is Puka Nakua. I could be saying his name wrong, but he's the Rams wide receiver, kind of replacing Cooper Kupp. He's just as big as Cooper Kupp. He's fast. He's young, and Matt Stafford loves this guy. Matthew Stafford loves Nuka Nakua. Puka Nakua. That's his name. Stafford loved this guy. He's getting targets, man. He's got 338 receiving yards in 3 weeks right now. 338 receiving yards on 30 receptions. In 3 weeks of football, he's got 30 receptions, 338 receiving yards, 42 targets in 3 weeks. Stafford loves this guy, and he's pretty decent price, and he's in a good spot against the Colts. That's another player there. And Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is back, right? And I think he's finna eat, man. I think Brandon Ayuk is finna eat. That's another player I recommend y'all. Of course, Christian McCaffrey, another running back that we didn't pick tonight, but I recommend. And check out the HyperPicks. Some of these names that I'm mentioning, you're going to see again on HyperPicks. So definitely go over to TikTok and follow us on the Recap HyperPicks, one long word. And we're going to give y'all 3 HyperPicks a video. So you're going to click on a video. You're going to see 3 players that we're recommending for you for the game of the day at the time. Right now we got HyperPicks up, but those games are over. And the HyperPicks for Sunday aren't up yet because the video has to get posted. But like I said, a lot of these players that you've heard me say in the last 5 seconds here are going to be somewhere in those HyperPicks. So look out for those videos to come up sometime before game time tomorrow. I'll have those videos up. We'll have to try to have those videos up at least 2 hours before game time, no later than that. Right? Not anytime soon, but and it's not going to be that many. Just maybe 2 or 3 HyperPicks videos for you guys for Sunday. Just some last minute names that we didn't mention on the show. Check out the HyperPicks and see who we're talking about. You know, who we're showing you. It's not going to be a long podcast, a little 25-second clip, and you're going on with your life. So Christian McCaffrey's the running back that I recommend. I still kind of recommend Mostert, even though he may not have a great game. I still like Mostert against the Bills. I don't think the Bills' run defense is that good as their pass defense. And one last one before we go. We already got DeAndre Smith. I think Zach Moss on the Colts has been very quietly productive. Like, I didn't realize Zach Moss was balling as much because I haven't been paying attention to him. Zach Moss on the Colts as a running back is in a great spot, man. I think he's a good pick. If you didn't know about him or pay attention to him now, check into Zach Moss and squeeze him somewhere on your lineups. You know, that's a good pick right there. Other than that, man, that's the show. Happy drafting, y'all. Hope y'all get this money. See y'all again next week. I'm your host, Open Mind, along with your other host, DZ.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.